It is far too warm in England at this time of the year. Like, I don't mind the heat too much as long as I can do something with it, like going to the beach or to the pool. But here in England, where the only nice place I can go is the park, and even that, it's not that fresh, and my room is obviously designed to keep in warm, so it's not fresh and cool. It's just awful. Like, I'm sweating. I hate sweating, despite what my gym addiction might otherwise suggest. But anyway, as you can see, I did a bit of a grocery shop, and it's been a while since my last grocery haul, so I just want to show you what I've been eating these days, because I have been trying to eat a bit more healthfully, be a bit more concerned about my macros instead of just macros and calories. So obviously we have some meat, the quintessential chicken breast for the lean days where I don't have much calories to eat, but I still need that lean protein. But I have been digging a lot mince meats, especially turkey, just because you can make some nice dishes with it, and you can make them super filling if you fill them with vegetables. Obviously Greek yogurt keeps being a huge part of my diet. Why? Who's making noise at this time? Well, I apologize for that. It's super versatile, you can make a ton of snacks with it, it's high in protein, filling, it's just chef's kiss. It's probably the thing I eat the most. I eat a ton of fruits. Fruits are basically my desserts. They're the sweet thing that I never cut out of my diet. I always have bananas before a workout, and recently I've been starting having some grapes before a workout as well, because they're very high in sugar, and I want that energy to pull through. I've been also trying to eat more fish, so tuna has always been a staple for me, but I've recently started introducing some wild cod. It's not the most tasty, but the nutritional profile on this is insane. And honestly, you can make anything good in the air fryer anyway, so... Now, what I said about mince, for example, is that you can make it very filling, and usually I prepare it with some mushroom, bell peppers. I love these elongated ones. I think they are much tastier and easy to work with than the normal bell peppers. Onions, of course. This wasn't a full-on shop, it was more of a refill shop, so I didn't buy everything that I use in a week. But onions and garlic are in almost all of my dishes. It just gives so much flavor, and again, they're vegetables, they fill you up, it's nice. And of course, I've been loving some chili peppers for the spice. Eggs, well, if you know me at all by my Instagram or my channel or in person, you know that I eat a lot of eggs. I have recently been getting into chickpeas again. I used to eat them a lot, but I stopped for maybe a year or two. I don't really know why, I just kind of drift away from them. But recently, gosh, they have been delicious. Rice is usually my main form of carbs, but chickpeas are so much more filling and they give such a nice taste. They're super nutritious, and I definitely feel like they're a nice addition to my diet. Finally, it's just got some extra spices. So we have garlic powder for when I am way too lazy to cut the garlic, and we have crushed chilies for when I am way too lazy to cut chilies. That's basically it. And finally, I love seasoning my foods with lemon juice. I think it's just fantastic that you can add such a small and simple thing and make your food taste 10 times better. Yeah, that's all I got for today, I think. There we go. That was pretty delicious. I just want to give you guys an update on what I'm working on my PhD at the moment. So since my most recent journal submission got rejected, I'm actually adapting that paper to submit it now to a conference, ICRA. It stands for International Conference on Robotics and Automation. Now, despite obviously not having liked my paper getting rejected to the journal, if this revised version gets accepted to this conference, I'm actually going to be really happy, because this conference is going to be in Japan. And you know, as a massive Pokemon fanboy, I probably would love to go to Japan. The bad news is I'm actually not too happy with the current state of the paper, and the deadline is in 3 days, but you know, I'll give it my best and fingers crossed. But you know, paper and academic writing isn't the only thing I've been writing these days. In fact, I just finished this pen around 2 days ago. I think there's something really rewarding about finishing a pen. It's somewhat of a milestone of writing by hand. One of my biggest gripes with typing is that it's so unpersonal. I don't feel attached to that digital document at all. It doesn't occupy physical space. On the other hand, when I journal or write a small essay on a physical notebook, it's there. I can see my thoughts occupying space on paper. It feels different. I feel much more attached to what I just wrote. Also, I read all of my books on my Kindle because I find it much more practical, but it means that my shelves end up being empty of books. So the more physical notebooks I can fill my shelf, the better. Especially when they look really good. This is my current collection of notebooks. I am not sponsored in the slightest, by the way. I bought these with my own money and they are on the expensive side, but I do love them to bits. I mentioned in the previous video that I have basically 2 journals. I have a very personal one that I use to note down any emotional breakdowns I might be going at the time. I have a work one, which is, I'm gonna call it a daily planner, even though it's not really much of planning. Just set out the to-dos for the day and then cross them over, and if any frustrations arise during my work, I just write it down. I got this idea from a very famous writer whose name I cannot recall at the moment, but basically he was writing what he considered to be his masterpiece, or at least he was trying to make it his masterpiece, and he kept a work journal. And I found it quite fascinating to go through his work journal and see the roller coaster of emotions on someone else's work, because I am super familiar with it on my own work. This one is the most recent edition, and it's the only one that is ruled, lined, whatever. It has lines instead of dots. I'm using this one to write my shitty first drafts. So whenever I want to write about something, usually short essays about topics that I'm interested in, I really do prefer writing long-handed first, at least the first draft, and then type it down digitally as a second draft. I don't know, but to me there's something about handwriting that is more freeing than typing. When I type, I find myself editing as I go along on the first draft much more often, basically because it costs nothing, just a few strokes on the key. While long-handed, unless you want to have a bunch of dashed words on your paper, then you don't really go back all that much. I really like that clear division because in my opinion, first drafts are supposed to be bad. You're supposed to indulge on every single bad piece of writing that you want to get out of you. And then when you go on to your second draft, that's when you start killing your darlings. As you can see, I'm a very monochrome person. I don't really like vibrant colors a whole lot, and I feel like these do the job just perfectly. I have also been trying a ton of new pens, but I feel like that's going to be a topic for another day.